Welcome to the Brian Lara Stadium for this West Indies Championship match. TNT Red Force versus Barbados Pride. It is the third day of play. Trinidad and Tobago resuming at 51 for 3 in reply to Barbados' 294. TNT knocked out for 133 in the first innings. They still trail by Barbados by 110 runs. I'm Vidya Ramphal alongside Sheldon Rooks, and here we go with the start. It is Miguel Cummings to bowl to the left-handed Simmons to start off here. Good morning to you, Sheldon. How are you?
Good morning, Vidya. Good morning to everyone at home. Yeah, in good condition after a long drive out to Beach for a T20 game last night and a long drive back early this morning. Very enjoyable, nice cricket out there. And
some interesting cricket in the afternoon yesterday. Barbados all out for 294. Terence Hines, 8 wickets in his first 8 games and 5 wickets in 1 innings here. His first 5-wicket haul in first-class cricket. That one kept a little bit low. So Simmons, who is not out on 26, opened the innings yesterday with Jeremy Solozano, who is out for 14. Brian Charles came out surprisingly as a night watchman. He went without scoring. And then Darren Bravo, who was obviously they were trying to shield him because of his apparent poor form. Well, Bravo got an absolute peach from Roston Chase. He was bowled for 4. Mohammed is in at the non-striker's end.
That was the first. The previous ball was the first one that I can genuinely say over the last couple of weeks that we've been here that kept low. I think the wicket has played well. There haven't been any complaints, but that one, that did scoot through, didn't it?
There was a hint that we would be starting late today as a result of some rain. There was a drizzle just before play started, but ground staff did an excellent job to get us started on time.
One angling down the leg side. There was a stifled shout. Nothing really in it. We were talking, Vidya, about batting long. Trinidad and Tobago are going to have to find a way to take this game into tomorrow. Absolutely essential that they value their wickets and bat as long as possible.
Yeah, that is what they would hope to do here today. It's a very difficult situation for Trinidad and Tobago. 51 for 3, still 110 behind Barbados. And then when you see the likes of Darren Bravo, one of the top batsmen in Trinidad and Tobago, and former, still part of the West Indies setup, of course, just struggling like that and going for 4. Very disheartening for the team. That would have certainly been an emotional blow for the squad yesterday. And you could see that it was going to be a big wicket that Barbados were hoping for. 51 for 3 at the end of the first over of the third day's play. Just the way in which they celebrated Darren Bravo's wicket. Yes, he's out of form, hasn't quite been batting the way he should, but Craig Brathwaite was jumping, leaping into the air and punching the air because they knew that it was just more than one wicket. It felt like it was just an emotional blow to the team.
When you've got a reputation like Bravo, there are people, like you say, on the Barbados team who are in the know, and they will be well aware of what he can do if he gets in and he bats long. He can really take the game, bring the game back for Trinidad and Tobago. So yes, they would have been delighted to see the back of him. Chase it is, who's got the ball at the far end and ready to come in now.
Right-handed Jason Mohammed there. Talked about Jason Mohammed hasn't had the best of seasons so far. For this season, though, he's had 200s in each of the last 3 seasons. So he's been one of the top batsmen for TNT. So he's still here So once he is in, always a chance for TNT to get something. Let's pull that away behind square. Fielder's not going to get it. He is at forward square leg. That one goes to long leg. Easy boundary here for Jason Mohammed, short from Roston Chase.
Yeah, without wanting to keep banging on about the possibility of getting 2 balls and over that you can hit, that is in my mind, look for the bad ball, look for one that gets pulled down or just gives you a little bit of width, and look to hit that one. Don't try and invent something.
Polite inquiry by the bowler. Less so by the fielders behind the keeper, but nothing doing. There's now a forward square leg, and there's also a long leg in place. 2 men just off the boundary. And he's bowled him. He's gone straight through him here. Turned in between bat and pad and took the off stump. And exactly the start that Trinidad and Tobago would not have wanted. That has happened here today. And Jason Mohammed's poor run continues. He's bowled for 10, 55 for 4. Exactly what you would want if you are a fan of the Barbados Pride.
We can talk about the 2 bad balls that you might get an over, but we can also talk about the absolute gem that bowls Mohammed here. Yeah, he plays all around that, I'm afraid. Well, Vidya, you're quite right. Not the start that Trinidad and Tobago would have wanted. There was a short delay. How long was the delay before we got underway, or did we start?
Well, actually, we started on time.
So we started on time. There was some drizzle around this morning. It blew down from the north, where I think they had some heavy rain.
Yes, it did. I drove through some of that, and it was type of driving that you don't relish. Headlights on, and some dark rain, what we call black rain here in Trinidad, all around you. Just you couldn't see anything, so you take your time, drive under 80 kilometers an hour, and come down. Suddenly, after passing Chaguanas in central Trinidad, bright sunshine.
Well, it hasn't slowed the game up. The ground staff had the covers on quickly just in case, and they had them off just as quickly to make sure that we got underway. But I'm getting the feeling that the only thing that's likely to slow Barbados up is a rain delay.
And even that is conspiring against the home team. Yannick Correa, the left-hander, is in. Top score of 196. He's had some big scores for TNT over the years. 100 in the last game against the Leeward Islands in a losing cause. So he will be setting himself up for a big innings here. A little bit unlucky in the first innings, caught by Dorridge off Graves for 13. There is the Barbados camp there. And they look pretty relaxed. Now, why shouldn't they? Oh, there's a football in there also. That shows you how relaxed they are.
Yeah, players with their feet up. Just watching. They'll have looked up at the scoreboard. 55 for 4. We've spoken over the last couple of games about scoreboard pressure and what the teams would like to see, what their goals and aims are for each of the sessions, and no doubt Barbados would like to see another couple of wickets before the lunch interval. That will have Trinidad and Tobago 6 down. If they can do better than that, then great, but that'll be their aim, to get another couple before the lunch interval.
3 slips and a gully in place. Just a note on that football in the Barbados camp. Barbados football team is coached by a Trinidadian, of course, Russell Adapi, the great TNT midfielder.
Yeah.
Miguel Cummings continues here. The 3 slips and a gully in place. They're getting some good carry here. Sun's coming out again, and wind is starting to kick up. So all what we did not see yesterday in terms of the conditions, now we're seeing early today. And just to remind you that play actually ended early yesterday. The haze and the Sahara dust hanging over Trinidad would have ended play at least about, I make it about 10 overs early yesterday. Now, for these 2 batsmen, yes, there is a possibility of getting some runs. There was for Jason Mohammed. I got a good delivery from Chase, played around it. He's out for 10. Simmons, he's another of these batsmen that he hasn't had a significant run in this Trinidad and Tobago team. He was in and out of the team in the last season in 2020. He hasn't had a consistent run here again. He needs some runs to kind of cement his place, or at least get a chance to play in the next game. .26 for Simmons. Correa 0. Yet to score here. And the wickets have been shared. Rooksy 2 for Jordan in the last innings, 2 for Simmons. But in this one, Chase has gone ahead of the pack here with 2 wickets, both of them bowled. Wicket apiece for Simmons and the Graves yesterday. It's going to slip through. No, well subbed.
It's a nice line that Cummings has got here, making Simmons play at every ball. Just had one that went across him and pushed it a bit wide that he left, but I like this line. See if he can just take it a little bit wider and tempt him into pushing at one.
Got solidly behind that one, Simmons. Well, the last thing TNT would want at the moment is a run out. So there was a lot of yes-no at the start of that. Pulled out of the run. End of the over, 24 overs. TNT already 55 for 4. And there is the TNT camp. No footballs there, but they're looking very, very somber. Imran Khan has already padded up. There's Isaiah Raja to the left with the red hat and the vest on, and quite a few of the team members already there. The fact that Khan is padded up already, I'm not sure if he's going to come in next. I would imagine that there would be Joshua De Silva in next.
He's out of the shot at the moment. He may very well be padded up.
So in terms of who's next, Joshua De Silva very much could be next, then Imran Khan. After that, it's Terence Hines, Uthman Mohammed, and Shannon Gabriel still to come.
I like to look at the backgrounds of the players and see what similar situations they've been in previously and when they've been able to step up and come up with big innings and big scores. Perhaps you could pick out 2 or 3 of them and say, right, they are going to reproduce it here. You imagine some scenario where 2 or 3 of them will stand up, and then you add up what their best scores are, how long they've been at the crease, and then you have a good idea of what's likely to happen.
Well, that's just past the left hand of the fielder at short leg. Just one. Correa decides to stay for 1. Well, in terms of what you're saying about those who have produced those performances, Correa has in the last game, certainly 100 against the Leeward Islands, and Joshua De Silva against England in the test match.
And the key thing here is they would have to produce that, both of them, or two of them, of the remaining group, would have to produce that simply to make Barbados bat again. So that is how big this mountain is to climb.
Certainly is. And then you have Simmons, who's here, just 5 matches, 184 runs, averaging over 26. He doesn't have the track record to stay in for that long. Not that he doesn't have the talent, so it's a big moment for him. If he can rise to the occasion here for Trinidad and Tobago, it would certainly give him the opportunity to stay in at least for the next game and for games to come. 56 for 4 at the end of the over.
Well, he's faced 76 balls for his 26 at the moment. So let's say that he was able to knuckle down. He still managed to knock the ball about, and we doubled his balls faced, and we doubled his score. As long as he can get someone else to bat with and keep up a similar kind of tempo, that's when it begins to get frustrating. A long partnership frustrates the bowling team, and right now I don't see any sign of Barbados being frustrated. Quite the opposite. They're chirpy, got their tails up and looking for another wicket.
Should be one for Karaya. And outside of just winning this game, it puts them in a great position to go on to win the title, because with the greatest of respect, of course, to the Windward Islands, they've lost their first 3. They're in deep trouble against the Leeward Islands, so they are in a world of hurt right now. And then they come up against the defending champions in the last game. So it's pretty much almost like Manchester City playing the relegated team in the last game of the season to win the title.
Yeah, all over but the shouting. Yeah.
Of course, the discussion has started on social media all over Trinidad and Tobago among the cricket conversations as to why the TNT team has not performed well in this match. And all sorts of theories coming around, some wilder than the others. But in terms of some of the theories, well, remember Trinidad and Tobago without 3 of their main players who have gone on with the West Indies: Jaden Seales, Akil Hussain and Anderson Phillip. That's one of the theories advanced. Oh, that is driven nicely, but straight to the fielder. And also a no ball as signaled by umpire Basrat, just overstepping their Cummings. However, those players were also on the team against Leeward Islands, which TNT also lost. So, not that. Has to be the batting, which has failed to click in this game.
You can't help but hear them, and you can't help but read about them in the press and the media. How much credibility you give to them, well, it depends who's doing the talking, and quite often I look at the names and think, well, I've never heard of the person before. I don't know what qualifications you've got to be, giving these opinions about why Trinidad and Tobago have not fired.
Of course, to focus on that side of the debate, which is that TNT have failed to fire, is to take away from how good the defending champions have been. They've done what they needed to do, and they've executed their plans very well.
Without having looked spectacular, I mean, I wouldn't say that they blasted them away. We saw a few shots that I know the batsmen would like to take back, but they just put it in the right place, bowled well, did the jobs they were supposed to, like you say.
As Cummings is attempting to do here, 58 for 4. Still to take a wicket here, Cummings.
I think it's another no ball.
Yeah, heard the call. There it is. Second no ball here for Cummings, coming round the wicket. Umpire Basrat. Well, he's still waiting to get the signal. Umpire Basrat has his right arm out.
Yes, another.
Yeah, so
Another
still
no ball.
hasn't seen the signal. He's just waiting for the scorers to acknowledge. So he's not frozen, I assure you. The screen is not frozen.
We can't help out because I think we're way above his eye line, but whomsoever it is that he's looking at, they maybe recorded it and they just hadn't acknowledged him.
It's going to be another run here for Simmons. Yeah, it's a lighting system. They have a brightly colored bulb which they press. Sometimes if the switch isn't working, well, then that's going to be a problem.
That one just lifted a little bit, tucked it around the corner, and they came through for 1 run. I'd like to see a little bit more urgency and a bit more noise from the Barbadian team. It looks as though they're just expecting things to happen and roll over. Sometimes you have to make it happen. They've had 1 wicket so far. Should really be pressuring Trinidad and Tobago here.
Oh, it's a very nice shot and great fielding. Look at that. Went to the... It's a left-handed reefer. That went to his strong hand, so that's why he's positioned there at backward point. Did well to move across, make the stop with the left hand.
Do you get that feeling that it's, you know, it's a real pressure situation with only 60 on the board, 4 down already, and yet Barbados are just moving around quietly, just waiting for something to happen. You know, they should be noisy out there, clapping and pressuring Trinidad and Tobago even more.
It's a short leg in place, maybe a couple of yards back from where he should be, and that leg slip, but over has come to an end, 60 for 4. Maybe almost as though as they expect TNT to implode here. There are some of the workers in and around the Brian Lara Cricket Academy, of the local, what's it called, the relief programs. Yeah, they're having some fun. Wonder if they're supporting Barbados.
I'm just
this
going to...
guy in blue.
It could be.
I don't know.
Isn't there a yellow thing, hint of something yellow up there as well? But I was lucky enough to go to Beach last night.
Beach, yes.
The crowd was incredible. Absolutely incredible. Even if they had half the crowd here today that they had at that ground last night, it was absolutely super. Really enjoyed it.
Well, for those of you outside of Trinidad and Tobago, Beach is in deep in central Trinidad. If we were to drive from here, I estimate it would be about 2.5 hours, wouldn't it?
Yeah, the road is not the best road, but I don't want to say too much about that. But it was a terrific game. Police versus Beach, and it was the local team who came out on top. They got a bit of a hammering, Police, last night. And the final is up there on Sunday.
Sunday, yeah. Well, it does speak to the deep interest in T20 cricket. It doesn't matter where you are. You're deep in central Trinidad, and T20 cricket just draws a huge crowd. On drive, well, there could be 1. There should be 2 here for them. There's a slip in the outfield, but he does well to make the stop there, Cummings, and get it back in.
It could still be a bit slippery after that little bit of drizzle that we had. It was only light.
Yeah, we've
it?
seen a few tumbles already this morning. 1 for Cummings there. Let's hope he's all right. Seems to be okay. He's a big, tough guy, Cummings. And a nice sliding stop from Reefer just before that. Oh, he's getting some turn, isn't he? Got some yesterday to defeat the defensive, delayed, you have to admit, a defensive prod by Bravo. One that pitched around mid-stump, hit the off-stump, and today getting it through the gate of Jason Mohammed. The type of dismissal off-spinners just love. Straight to the fielder.
Yeah, don't be frustrated. I'm talking to Simmons here. Don't be frustrated that you haven't got it past the field. It's a nice looking shot. It's a good field. It's well set. Don't be frustrated that it hasn't gone to the boundary.
A bit more bounce there. And that one just rolled the bounce very well and played it down. Yes, there is the forward short leg, but that was significantly away from him. Played that one well, Simmons. And in answer to your pleas for him to be patient, he seemed to be losing patience a little bit. He was very frustrated he didn't get that one through. We'll get one this time. I don't think he's much of a poker player, Simmons, because he does, with the way he waves his bat around, displays annoyance every now and again. 63 for 4.
Yeah, every emotion that you have and feel inside, I'm just going to let Vidya describe that.
San Fernando Hill. That's highest point in the south of Trinidad. It's it dominates the landscape in the city of San Fernando, which is away to the west of us here. Heavily mined until conservationists in the 1970s campaigned for all the mining to stop. You can still see some of the traces of that. That was 50 years ago, and it's still visible today.
It's a real scar on the side.
Great view there.
Yeah. Yeah, Simmons, if he can just keep that emotion from bubbling over. Don't want your opposition to see that.
Yeah, it is. There's the old saying, you never let your opponent see you bleed. Well, TNT have suffered several body blows already, so that's going to be difficult. But personally, also another thing I've noticed from players, putting game-related information on social media. I have an ankle injury, not feeling great. That sort of thing should not be on social media. Not Simmons, of course, but I have seen it before. Young Simmons has taken 3 wickets in the innings in the game already. 20-year-old. He's put in an honest effort here. Just reconfirming his guard. I think every time he may be in a little bit of mental phase here, he just tries to retake the guard, just reset his mind to the task. Well, that's the sort of situation that he got dismissed in the first half, and that's why that man is there, Roston Chase. They're angling the ball down the leg side. Now he comes in towards his stumps a little bit and just has a dabble with it to get it down the leg side. He was caught by the keeper. Replays may have showed something slightly different, but his bat was very close to it, legs also close to it. That's well played. I was looking at the points table there, Rooksy, with Barbados and the top 4 teams separated by 6 points. There it is. Very, very close race in terms of the title this year. Barbados looks like they're going to add to that total. Leeward Islands also look like they're going to add to theirs, as will Guyana. So it's going to might be a 3-horse race after this round. That was coming back in sharply there. What I found very interesting is that what separates, because of those 4 teams, there were 2 wins for 3 of them. But what separated them actually is the bowling points for pace bowlers. Barbados have picked up more points for pace bowling than any of the other teams.
Yes, you'd have to know exactly what points and how they're allocated. Short one. It's down the leg side. Doesn't trouble him.
End of the over, 64 for 2.
and then you could work out where the lead is and how they got there. There's a phrase that came to mind a little bit earlier on about
Not greenery, is it?
No, it was to blunt the attack. To blunt the attack. To take the steam out of them and just slow them down a little bit. And it's the same thing about taking time out of the game. Trinidad and Tobago have got to do both those things. Blunt the attack and take time out of the game. It's a huge task, however.
Well, he's taken that. There's a big appeal. Yes, he's been given. And that is the end of Simmons. Bat onto pad, and Chase has done the trick once again here. Got rid of Bravo late yesterday. Bowled Mohammed through the gate earlier today, and now has accounted for the other opener, Simmons. And here's how it happened.
Yeah, that's a good catch. Not the most difficult, but still they have to be taken. Popped up there by Simmons and snapped up. Chase running down the side of the track there in celebration. He's been the wicket taker this morning.
He certainly has, and well taken by Mosley. Yeah, didn't flinch at all when he saw the batsman come up. Kept his concentration well. And dive forward and to his left to take it. This is Joshua De Silva, who is coming in next here at number 7. Karaya and Joshua De Silva, both of these have had good scores for the season. But after this, it's Imran Khan, who you know will give you a chance because he's going to go after the bowling. And then it's after Imran Khan, Hines, Mohammed and Gabriel. So not a lot to go here for Trinidad and Tobago. So really staring down the barrel of a very heavy defeat.
Yeah, I'm afraid, really, to keep going on about the targets that the teams will have set themselves. Trinidad and Tobago would have wanted to have gone to lunch without losing another wicket. They've already lost 2. Barbados will want to obviously take as many as they can, but their target would have been 3, 2 down already as Chase comes into bowl.
Yeah, 2 wickets in the first half an hour. Resumed at 51 for 3, so just 13 runs added, 2 wickets gone already. So that's a measure of the pressure put on by the Barbados Pride here. Well, Chase hasn't done too much wrong, has he? Kept on spot all the way through since he came in yesterday.
Quality bowler. I think he just went for 1. He was hit away once, that was it. The rest of the time he's been on the spot.
Yeah, it was after the ball after he was hit away for 4. He produced an absolute beauty the next delivery. Straight through the defences of Jason Mohammed. It's Mosley in that forward short leg position.
And he'll feel good having taken a catch there already.
Yeah, end of the over. Good over and a successful one for Chase once again. 3rd over for the morning, and he's already taken 2 wickets. Don't think 10 of your Clydesdale horses could drag that ball away from him right now.
Not now. They can leave him going at that end.
Ad infinitum.
Yeah, just rotate the others down at this end. They trail by Red Force trail by under 100. That's another target that they would have wanted to have achieved. They've done that now, but it's still 97 that they trail by, with only 5 wickets left. The top order really completely destroyed again.
And you talked about how big the task is here for Trinidad and Tobago. TNT have only had 200 partnerships for the season, as we mentioned, I think, on the first day. Solozano and Correa getting 112. That was against the Windward Islands in that innings victory. Correa and Isaiah Raja, who's not playing today, won 16 versus Jamaica in the first game. Both of those in the first part of the season. It's really been a tale of two halves, hasn't it? First half of the season, TNT very dominant. Second half, less so. Well, it sounded like two noises there, but that seemed to be heading down the leg side.
Simmons, by the way, was spoken to by the umpire in the previous delivery. Not sure if... I don't think that was an official warning, but he had a long word with him. Well, three things there. Could have pitched outside the off stump. There's also height in there. It was still going up, and it was going down the leg side.
Good stop there by Brathwaite. Just had the one blemish yesterday, but he's been as solid as ever in the field. Umpire Basserat has had the cause. He has like a method of it. He will have a few words with the bowler first, let them know, and I don't think I've actually seen him give an official warning in this game or the last one. And easily stopped by Brathwaite. Well, he spent the outstanding player of the tournament, hasn't he? Most runs. His team have rebounded so well from that defeat. You know, that first defeat in the season can be traumatic for some, well, for every team it is. But then it's how you respond. It's how the management, how the captain, how the players respond to it. And obviously, the Barbados Pride have responded far better than the TNT Red Force here.
Yeah, I'm afraid more of the same for Red Force here.
That's it wonderfully well. Now Brathwaite is after this one. It's touch and go to see if he's going to catch up with this one. Well, all those times he's practiced his sprinting has certainly helped. Pull that one in well. That's 3 runs. Good shot by Correa. Well stopped by Brathwaite. I'll bring Joshua De Silva, the right-hander, on for the first time against the left-handed Simmons.
Clean-up job going on.
Well, it's a clean-up job on and off the field. One here for the staff just outside of the stadium, and the other clean-up job is being done by the Barbados team. Well, there aren't a lot of sweep shots out here. There are a few more out there, aren't there?
He's a left-hander, you can see that.
Yeah, you can see that.
Likes to whip that around to the onside, that kind of stroke. I can see the ground staff.
A lot of bottom hand in that sweep, though. Anyway, the ground staff are heading out towards the left here. We'll pick it up in a moment. The players just looking away to the left. Roston Chase has the ball in his hands, and he's heading to bowl already. Look like we might have a little shower here coming up. The umpires already have decided. Yes, they're calling the covers on. So umpire Basserat has seen the rain coming. Just like that Creedence Clearwater Revival song. Have you ever seen the rain? Well, I won't sing it to you because you'll have to be coaxing your pets out from under the sofa for quite a while. But all the same, it's 67 for 5 here, TNT. They still trail Barbados by 94 runs, and the rain has come down. It's not going to be a long delay here, I'm sure, because it's just well, the cloud has already stopped immediately. But we'll take a short break here, and we'll update you as things unfold here at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy. 67 for 5. 67 for 5, and here is the TNT card. Well, the batsman to go today, Jason Mohammed, bowled by Chase for 10, and then Keegan Simmons, he was caught close in by Mosley for 31. Those are the two batsmen to go. TNT losing 2 wickets within the first half an hour. 67 for 5 with a short rain delay. We'll be back with more as soon as the covers are off. Welcome back to the Brian Lara Cricket Academy here in South Trinidad. It's TNT Red Force versus Barbados Pride. Round 4 West Indies Championship. And the Trinidad and Tobago team in all sorts of trouble here. Still trailing Barbados by 94 runs. It's 67 for 5. Just to remind you, TNT resumed at 51 for 3. And they've lost a couple of wickets already. 2 wickets going down and 67 for 5. And here the 2 batsmen coming up to join the Barbados team on to continue the battle here. And this is going to be a difficult time. There was a rain delay, just about 20 minutes. There was some rain just before the start of play. Covers came on just about half an hour before play. It stayed on for just to about a couple of minutes before the umpires went on. In fact, while the umpires were walking on at 2 minutes to 10, they were just dragging the covers off. So might be off later on, who knows? A lot of rain about coming from the northeast of Trinidad. Some of it sweeping down towards the south, and some of it sweeping into the north side. Some of it sweeping into the south area, and that has given us some problems here. But Roston Chase is going to continue. Roston Chase, he's been absolutely brilliant today. And Randy Mahace is jumping in beside me here for the moment. Sheldon Rooks, well, that's a good delivery here from Chase to start off. Just to remind you that Chase has taken 3 wickets already. And among the wickets he's taken, he's bowled Darren Bravo for 4. Jason Mohammed was bowled for 10. And so he's had 3 wickets for 14 runs. Yeah, that's the silver forward to it. Randy Mahace is beside me, the club cricketer from Arangwes Sports here in Trinidad. How are you?
Hi, good evening, Vidya. I'm really good. It's really nice to see that this game is going into a very fighty for Trinidad and Tobago, and we have seen the last game where Yannick Carrier scored 100 in a losing cause though, but I think that this pair deserves they have a really good fight in them.
Well, they have a really big battle ahead of them. 94 runs still to wipe out. Chase, that one going on with the arm and just outside the off stump. Well, look at Chase. Yeah, that's what he was showing. It just scooted through, didn't it?
For those that know Carrier, not too sure if the guys from the 40 regional competition know him that well. Early on in his career, he was very susceptible to off spin. So there's a possibility that, he's kind of tentative against Chase, which may give them an opportunity.
Yeah, he is definitely in some problems here with Chase. And these players, they file away all these bits of information that maybe a little weakness to off spin here. Well, obviously he's worked on it a lot because he's faced quite a few off spinners over the past few seasons and has continued to be successful.
He looks much more comfortable there playing that one forward now.
67 for 5 at the end of the over. Trinidad and Tobago, 133 in the first innings. Barbados replying with 294. TNT starting off by trailing by 161 runs, and now 67 for 5. And I'm sure that he's very happy. Member of the, trying to recognize a member of the Barbados management team. 67 for 5, yeah. Just 5 more, he's saying. We just need 5 more. We're going to get this quickly. Well, I think that is Ryan Hines. Just looked a little bit different since the last time I saw him. Yeah, not getting a good view, but I believe that is Ryan Hines there. And Boyce, Kamari Boyce, who was left out of the team along with Chaim Holder today for this game. Sure, they must be very happy with what's happening with their team. Simmons Round the wicket to Joshua De Silva, just getting it to move slightly away. Now, these two batsmen have runs in them. Karaya, as you pointed out, 100 in the last game. Joshua De Silva, not too long ago, the hero for the West Indies against England. So they do have the capacity to take the fight to Barbados here.
Yes, definitely. It's a bit of digging really deep here in these conditions. The ball moving around, overcast conditions, and the wicket spinning. You just need to dig deep.
I'll pull it straight to the fielder. Yeah, just pulled it straight to the fielder and easily taken there. Now, the thing about them is, yes, they do have the capacity to bat long. They can take the fight to Barbados, but you're not going to see them really take apart this Barbados attack. They're both similar in the sense that they play themselves in. They eat up a lot of deliveries, but they're not exactly aggressive type batsmen to get on top of the bowlers.
Yes, definitely. But I think playing Test cricket, you would know when you need to go on the attack. But it's early up in Joshua's innings, and you would expect him to take a few deliveries. But seeing the field, and if getting a bad delivery and putting it away, you would put pressure on the bowlers.
He certainly would, and which he is attempting to do. Now, in the first innings, he did he got 23, but faced a lot of deliveries there. Under pressure, Joshua De Silva at 23 came in at number 6. He's coming in one place down because of Brian Charles being used as that night watchman yesterday. Well, just a bit of movement into the right-hander. Yeah, that seemed like a little bit of a miscalculation, wasn't it? That was Brian Charles coming in and going very quickly with more than 18 overs still to go. Here's the delivery. Well, too high. Obviously, that's why there was no appeal. Too high and going down the leg side.
Yes, I think 18 overs left in the day's play would have been a very high risk sending Brian Charles. Knowing his ability with the bat early on in his career, before he turned an off spinner, you would have said yes, he can do it. But placing him under that pressure, I think it was a bit of miscalculation, I would say, from the Red Force dugout.
Yeah, I mean, not to take anything away, as you said, from his batting ability. But he hasn't produced the runs at the first-class level. Yeah, he is organized in his technique and perhaps had the capacity to stay around, but it didn't work out. So now, perhaps unnecessarily, there's a wicket down. I think the consideration also yesterday was the fact that Bravo was really struggling, and it showed up yesterday once again.
Full delivery there. Joshua pushing forward to short cover.
End of the over, 67 for 5, and that is the end of Simmons' 8th over. 1 for 6. He's already picked up a wicket here. 2 for Chase, 1 for Graves, and Simmons also getting the other wicket of Solazano. So here we go. It's a lovely scenery around here at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy. That's away to the left of the ground. Sorry, my botany is a little bit suspect, so I won't try to identify those flowers. I do know it's a flower, yes, I was told. But it's a stadium that was built here in Tarouba, South Trinidad. It's off the edge. Should be 2 here for Yannick Karaya. Might be more. Yeah, it's gone for 4. Over the ropes now. Past Chase, and was put in a good effort there, the fielder. Jordan was the man putting in the Graves, was the man putting in the fielding. Well controlled by Karaya. Just kept it down. 2 bounces before it went past Chase, and enough power on it to get over the ropes.
If you can realize what the Barbados Pride is doing, the previous over, Simmons was coming round the wicket to create a bit more rough patch for Ruston Chase, so you can see that excessive turn near Ruston, just using that rough area from the follow through from Simmons.
Yeah, we have seen that many times before. One remembers Chaminda Vas, the left-hander for Sri Lanka, would have created quite a few rough spots for the off spinner Muttiah Muralidharan. Yeah, so there is something to work with, and you can see the spot there just to the left of the knee of Shane Dowridge, the keeper. You can see that spot has been created there by the left armour.
As you mentioned, Chaminda Vass, I remember seeing his stats, and every time he come up against Chris Gayle, he got him on more than 75%. So it was just about, yes, Mulitaran was there to come, but his ability to swing the ball early up in the innings for Sri Lanka was amazing. As Chase runs in there, Karaya pushes that one there to mid-on.
Cut away, straight on the fielder though. So Barbados have set up a very tight ship here, very tight net. There's a fielder in that point position, backward point also. So Karaya has to create something of an angle off the off spinner if he is to get runs on the offside. Chase has been so good this morning. He's been varying his pace well and getting a lot of spin. 3 for 18 his figures, 71 for 5 at the end of the over. We will have to get somebody with some know-how to find out what flowers are those of that tree. Away to the left side of the ground here, Brian Lara Cricket Academy. So a bit of surprise when the decision was made to create this stadium here in the Tarouba area, but what a facility it is. And a lot of the natural vegetation has been kept around the stadium, so a real plus. A lot of greenery around here in the Tarouba area. So Simmons back on the attack here. Just the first ball defended by Joshua De Silva. It's all about occupying time here for these two batsmen. They just have to do what they normally do. Just eat up a lot of deliveries, take chunks of time out of this game, frustrate the Barbados team. Oh, that has kept a little bit low here. De Silva, I think he got some bat onto pad. They just squatted a little bit here. Let's see what happens. Yeah, bat onto pad. Yeah, could have gone anywhere. Survived that one.
Is it there something on that end? Because even when Shannon was bowling in the second innings, there was a lot of bounce up and down. There wasn't consistent bounce. So maybe there's something on that side of the pitch and they realized it. So their seam was coming from this end, and Rushton Chase maybe will hold you on that end.
Rushton Chase, don't think anybody can get that ball away from Rushton Chase at the moment. He's in the midst of a very good spell. Joshua De Silva. Largely here, it's been a pretty good pitch for batting. There is something in there for the bowlers. Cuts that away. Well, that's a very good stop there by Chase. Not sure how he held on to that, but that was really traveling there towards Chase. But you would expect a field of his quality to stop that.
Based on the slip's reaction, I was wondering if it was a catch. Hands on the hips here from first slip. A bit of disappointment.
Not too much. That was hit down by De Silva. Made a good fist of making that stop. Helps that on its way. It's going to go close to the boundary here and over the ropes. Despite the diving attempt there by Cummings, that has gone for a boundary. Wasn't in complete control of it. Joshua De Silva did enough to work that away for 4. And finally, off the mark.
What do you think about this young bowler, Simmons? I think he has gotten better as the game goes along. His lengths have been hard. He hasn't really given away much.
Certainly hasn't. Would have had an attack of early nerves when he started. Well, talking about nerves, that's one over the height. That one slipped out there. There has been some rainfall earlier, and there could be a little bit of moisture on the ball. So that one slips out a little bit. But the over has come to an end. 75 for 5, Trinidad and Tobago. They still trail by 86 runs. More vegetation around the Brian Lara Cricket Academy grounds here. Yeah, I think he's our cameraman today is very much a nature lover. Just one this time.
Karaya there, just looking to put the middle fielder under some pressure, because previously he was just hitting it there, and depending on the partner that you are running with, you would look for a single. And Joshua is a very busy player. He likes to get his runs running hard between the wickets, and it gets him in a gear. So thinking that they batted together at Queen's Park and they know each other for a long while, so you know when a batter comes in and you have that kind of connection, that camaraderie, you tend to get a lot more out of these players.
Yeah, I think the operative thing there, of course, they batted a lot together. Slight change in the field. Short edge recover in place and a mid-on. So they're trying to tighten the net around Joshua De Silva. Getting him to try to maybe get back on the back foot and cut at Ruston Chase, but he's been so immaculate in his line and length here. Yeah, drop it back to him. You wouldn't mind that too much. At some point, these batsmen are going to lose their patience, and that's what they're playing on here with these very tight lines and lengths there from Chase. That's not well taken by Darridge. A little bit more bounce on that one.
Turn and bounce there for Ruston Chase. I think that he wouldn't mind that single and getting the left hander back on strike.
He has been troubling Karaya a little bit, so Karaya, as he usually does, just trying to remark his guard, almost like mentally resetting as he starts off. 2 balls to face in the over here from Ruston Chase. Chase in his 9th over now. He's bowled since the start of play earlier today.
Karaya just leaving that one there, and if you look at, he looks a bit indecisive still once that ball is pitched just outside the off stump, and I think that's what Chase is looking for, getting him forward there, bringing those 2 guys under the bat into play, and his slip.
Bit fuller this time, but batsmen been so much in a shell here that even when that slightly off length delivery comes, can't put it away. 77 for 5 at the end of the over. So Barbados looking good here as we go up towards the lunch break, which is in just about 40 minutes. So still a lot of time here for Barbados. TNT in a real fight here. Still 2 sessions to go after this one. There's another day's play tomorrow. So it's all about time, occupying the crease for these 2 batsmen. Do they have the mental fortitude to do that?
I think they do, being a test player and
very fit players too. It's from the Trinidad and Tobago section of the dugout.
As we see a change of bowler from this end, Akeem Jordan. Akeem yesterday has swung the ball a lot, and given the conditions with the Duke ball now, I think it's going to play into his favour once he gets the ball in the right areas, and I think he's going to be troubling these batsmen a lot.
Yeah, he was quite good on the first day, and what a start to his first-class career that he's had. Akeem Jordan Picked up a handful of wickets against Guyana in the first game. Should be one. I'm thinking about two there, the silver, but it's never on. Yeah, Jordan starting his career against his first-class career against Guyana, and has already had 9 wickets in his career. So just 2 games, 9 wickets already. That's not a bad start to your first-class career. It must be easy, first-class cricket.
If you had asked him and you told him that in the first 2 first-class games you'd have now, I'm sure he would have said yes, thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll give you my right arm.
Staying a bit low there. As we said, imagine if it lined up on the stump and you're not expecting it to stay that low. Hope he doesn't get caught on the back foot, because we know he'll be in a lot of trouble.
Luckily that hasn't happened. Not too many of these deliveries have kept low. That's cut away, short and wide, and he just guided it into the gap between gully and backward point. That's a welcome relief here for Karaya, who picks up a boundary.
As you can see here in the replay, short and wide, lovely, getting on top of the bounce. A left-hander's treat, they call it. Once it's short and wide, you would love it there any day. And he capitalizing on that short ball there from Hakeem Jordan.
Looks around the field, Karaya, and sees 2 slips in a gully. Backward point, very short cover in place here, and a mid-off. Yes. They were hoping to trap him on the leg side as they did in the first innings. One that passed close to the bat and went through, taken by Dorridge. Very good catch for him. Still haven't made up my mind on that one. But 83 for 5. De Silva is on 5. Karaya on 15. Jordan, last ball of his 5th over, and first of the morning we've seen from him. End of the over, 83 for 5 at the end of it. So this is the first West Indies championship to be played after the COVID-19 break for the 2 years. No championship. It was ended early in 2020. No tournament in 2021. Back here in 2022, a 5-round tournament. Barbados into this 4th round, leading by a couple of points. Very, very slim lead, 6 points separating the top 4. And there they are. Victory here in this, the moving round, as we're calling it, could put them in a great position to go on to win title number 24. And with the, just to remind you, the matches coming up in the final round, Barbados will play the Windward Islands at Diego Martin Regional Complex. TNT will face Guyana at the Queen's Park Oval. Leeward Islands against Jamaica at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy. Certainly advantage Barbados to go ahead to get this title. Of course, these 2 batsmen will have something to say about that.
I think that they're going to be determined not to give it up easily, because that's the type of batsman they are. They're not going to give away their wicket easily. They would have to come and trust and chase, especially he's been bowling with a golden arm, I would say, because he's come on and just done things with the ball. Remember in his 8-for against England?
Yeah, who forgets that? I know one person who doesn't forget that. Sitting at the back of the box right now. He doesn't want to remember Roston Chase at all. So, in terms of the other games going on, Jamaica 393, Guyana 273 for 1. What a strong reply. Led by one Tejan Ryan Chanderpaul, 120 not out. Kevin Imlach is 74 not out. 78 yesterday for Chandrapaul Hemraj, great start for Guyana. Well, Mosley has collected one on the ankle here. Hope it's not the ankle. And as spectators love to do here in Trinidad, where somebody's yelled out at him, "Robert, it's yours." He's just, in fact, he's signaling to the spectator, "I'm okay, thank you. Thank you very much, thank you, I am okay." It's like everywhere in the Caribbean, the spectators like to have their say.
Definitely, and especially when your team is down, anything like that to spur them on, you're gonna just make them have a laugh, forget about all the pressure that they're under. And you know, it's all about having fun at the end of the day at the game. You don't ever want to see your team get humiliated or lost, and it's just about enjoying it.
End of the over, 83 for 5. Chase really motoring through these overs as we head up towards the last half an hour before the break here. Physio's coming on, and yes, Mosley will have it as the spectator says. And there is some of the lighting towers here at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy. 3 away to the eastern side, 3 away to the western side, and the clouds just behind. That's to the southern part of the ground, so that's okay. It can be as dark as it is on that side. That's going to move away. It doesn't really come back towards the stadium. However, the real danger is towards the east, where all of that is coming from. It's a large system that's heading over Trinidad and Tobago. There's a lot of rain in east. I think you're from the Grandie area.
Yes, I'm from the Grandie area, and
Sangre Grande, that is, in northeastern Trinidad. A lot of rain coming through east-west corridor in Trinidad. Some of it heading into Port of Spain, and some of it coming down south. So we're on the lookout here for precipitation.
I think Barbados would love the cloud cover, but I don't think they would want the rain. It's going to be really, really hard for Trinidad and Tobago, yes, but they would. If I was Barbados, I would have wanted to finish this game today and relax some more, please God.
As quick as possible. Have a day off. 15 for Correa, De Silva on 5. These two, between them, have faced 66 deliveries. 11 overs they've taken up between them. Yes, start to his run-up. Akeem Jordan is a bit unusual. He has this sort of so he starts to gain momentum. There is sort of frenetic start to it, and then he just eases into his run-up. That's fine. Everybody, you look at the 10 top bowlers in the world, they all have different run-ups. One just going away from De Silva, too far outside the awesome to interest him. But what's been interesting about him, he's getting the ball to move either way. Plus he also got some swing on the opening day with this Duke's ball. Plus with the natural conditions here at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy, the ball does tend to move in towards the right-hander from this end.
As you can see, with that wind, I think they made a change of field to take out the second slip and to put him at a short mid-wicket position. Knowing that Joshua sometimes leans over and flicks the ball, so you just have him playing in his mind and, you know, giving him an opportunity to bowl a bit straighter to Joshua with that exaggerant movement.
Just straightened him up a bit there with that one. Yeah, he just tried to clip it through the mid-wicket region, so there is that short mid-wicket for him to think about. There he is. I'm sure that Mosley would be happy to be a bit further away from the batsman at the moment. Pulls that away, and that's well stopped. Diving stop there by Warrican.
You know, I've seen Jamel Warrican bowling on television before. I never realized he was that short. He's a really short guy. and seeing that he was able to get around to that ball very quickly says a lot about his power in his legs.
Low center of gravity for Warrican. Solidly forward here, Joshua De Silva. So Chandapal, 100, his second 100 in 2 matches. Also got 100 against Barbados in that win. So helping his team towards a very strong position against Jamaica, who won by an innings and 14 runs here in their last game. So that is a real battle there. The Queen's Park Oval, there's another battle going on there, but that one, Leeward Islands certainly in charge of that. 83 for 5 at the end of the over here at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy. There's Darren Bravo. No, it's not Kanye West, in case you were wondering. It does have that slight resemblance. Never seen them in the same room, so I don't know. But it's not Kanye West. Yeah. Just having a little talk with one of the assistant coaches there for Trinidad and Tobago. So as Chase prepares to come in, Windward Islands in all sorts of trouble against the Leeward Islands. Lost their first 3 games, the Windward Islands, and they're again in trouble against the Windwards. Windwards 333, bowled out Leewards 333. They bowled out the Windwards for 173. Now the Leewards have decided to go back in and bat. 155 for 4, so they're leading by 315 runs already.
Oh, that one just bounced in there on Yannick Karaya. He was able to negotiate that bounce and fallen just short of, is that Carter? First slip, yes.
Yeah, so he has troubled Karaya. He never looked really comfortable against Chase. Chase has been the outstanding bowler this morning for the Pride. As I say that, he's going to pull it away for 4. Why not? Curse of the commentator there. Apologies to Curse. Yeah, he's been bowling so well, he just decides to drop one in short. And Karaya, alive to the possibilities, picks up a boundary.
It always happens. Doesn't matter the cricket, it always happens. As the commentator comments on the bowler, how good they are bowling or the batter, they just seem to prove us wrong.
87 for 5. Karaya on 19, De Silva on 5. It's been really slow going from these two, but exactly what Trinidad and Tobago need at this point. The partnership 23 of 61 deliveries. We did say it. They're not going to tear up and take command of any attack. They're not that type of batsman. Darren Bravo, we saw a little bit earlier, he is that type of batsman, but he's not in the pink of form at the moment.
After that bad delivery there, he's just back on his line and length there, bringing him forward. And it's just amazing to see the consistency that Ruston Chase has been bowling with, especially to these left-handers. He hasn't really given away much.
Well, for once, commentator does not curse Chase. You praised him, and that one driven back to him. But that's has been the secret to his success. That consistency, that control. Thought about the single. Karaya sent back De Silva quickly. And that will bring the over to an end. 87 for 5 at the end of it. And that's going to end my stint for now. Sheldon Rooks is going to come in to join you.
Morning, Randy.
Good morning, Sheldon.
Chance to have a chat with you then. Well, looking at the scoreboard, 87 for 5. We spoke about what both sides would want. Trinidad and Tobago have lost one more wicket than they would have liked. They can't afford to lose another before lunch, and we've still got a little more than 20 minutes. 6 down at lunch is going to be disaster, so both these batsmen are going to do their best to keep out the Barbados attack.
I think with the weather conditions this morning, I think Barbados would have been licking their lips for their fast bowlers, seeing that they have done so well in the first innings for them. As we can see, a change of bowling from this end, Justin Greaves.
Greaves just making some final adjustments to the field before he runs in and bowls now. It's a nice looking forward defensive shot from De Silva. Greaves has a complimentary word to him about that shot, and there's no run.
Based on the field that they have for Greaves here, I'm thinking that he's going to be bowling a bit short to Joshua De Silva, because you have a catcher that's short fine leg, I would say, or a leg slip, mid wicket, a square leg, mid on, and a deep backward square.
Well, it almost turned him around there, didn't it? He squirts out to the man at short cover, and there's no run. Yeah, you're quite right. It's a slightly unusual field there. It almost looks as though there's that short mid wicket, if you like, for the drive onto the onside that doesn't quite go where he wants it, and then maybe just fending off a short ball, as you say, at just behind, yeah, not quite a leg slip, but anyway, it's Greaves again outside the off stump, played defensively, and there's no run. Slightly busier feel to things for Barbados now, just 20 minutes before lunch, just the time to really try and put the foot on the gas, or accelerator, I think.
Yeah, I think Barbados would be looking for another wicket, and one of the bowlers I think that would come out before lunch is Miguel Cummins, and he would really try to rough up these batsmen. But as of now, I think that it's more of a mind game with Joshua De Silva based on this field here. Having him think that he's going to come short and just keeping the ball just back off a line there. One poor decision, I would say, and he's going to fall into their trap.
Yeah, what's nice is that he still looks as though he's keen to get on the front foot. You can see the shape is leaning into it, leaning forward. That's what you are coached to do for the most part, try and get on the front foot. I think someone like Cummins might push him back in the crease a little bit further. Not quite sure what Greaves is like with the short ball, but we may see it. That one's pitched up, it's on the pads, and it's flicked away by De Silva. It goes down to long leg, and they come through for 1 run. Change in the field for the left-hander. The quicker they move round, the better. Any amount of time that is taken out of the game can only help Trinidad and Tobago, so Barbados have got to be energetic in the field, and as I was saying earlier on, they really want to be, lots of chat and just trying to find any way that they can to unsettle the Red Force batsmen, who are looking reasonably comfortable at the moment. The scoreboard doesn't reflect it, 88 for 5, but this passage of play is much better for Red Force.
Or maybe the Barbados Pride players, they know, that one just chopping short of Carter there and slip. What a delivery there by Justin Greaves. Squaring Karaya up.
Yeah, just as we were saying, it's a good passage of play. He edges one. Luckily for him, it fell short of first slip. The commentator's curse was almost in play again. Yeah, it straightened and squared him up. But you see, the reason for playing is that angle. you feel as though I need to play at that, then it just straightens, and you'd have to be a brave man to leave that one. End of the over, 88 for 5. Coraya's on 19. De Silva is on 6. The TNT Red Force still trail by 73. Chase it is who's preparing to come in from the far end, swings his arms and then delivers. De Silva is back and cuts away, not sure that it will make it to the boundary. It's being chased down. They come back for a third run. That's good running.
Yes, two busy players here in the wicket here in Correa and De Silva. They love running. You could tell based on their attitude at the crease, they're looking, they're backing up, and just wanting to get off that strike or pressuring the fielders. Because to me, also as a player, you want to put pressure on the fielders. You don't want to be put on pressure as a batsman, especially at the score. So you want to take as much runs as possible. You don't have to hit the boundaries or expansive drives, but drop in, and it's going to cause frustration in the Barbados camps.
Yeah, it's a point that I was making with Vidya about trying to frustrate the bowling side. Give them something else to think about. They'll be looking at the scoreboard and thinking we'd really like to knock Red Force over if we can. Anyway, here's Chase again, round the wicket. Could have played forward to that, to be honest. I think when he walks away, maybe he'll have that in mind. Sometimes they rehearse the shot, and then you get an idea of what they would have liked to have done. But he played that one from the crease. Not to worry, he kept it out. Correa that was. Waits for the next ball, and this time he does come forward and pushes back up to Chase, and there's no run. The man going out now, just to be in the face of Correa. A silly point, really. Wraps him on the pad. There's no shout from Chase, which for me is the thing that tells you that that's not out.
Neither Chase nor Which went up. Everyone else around the bat, they were strongly appealing, as you can see here. For one, that one looks like it was just going on with the arm and heading down to the leg side. Which was not animated about that appeal, so you can tell.
There's another forward defensive shot that just trickles to the man at short leg. Correa really killing anything dead. Good when you get forward, but Chase is the kind of batsman who'll find a slightly shorter length and you get drawn forward and then you end up fishing at it. Here he is again. That one pulled down and pulled away, sorry, cut away. But there's a man out there and there's no run. He just dragged that one down, didn't he?
I think based on Chase's height, it's quite deceptive based on the length, because the bounce that he gets. As you can see at the end of his next is over Trinidad at 91 for 5, still trailing by 70 runs. It's a long climb for these guys, but slow and steady, and they would get there eventually.
I think I remember talking yesterday about being 70 behind. 70 behind was, I thought, manageable. We imagined that figure had it been around there, but you can't afford to lose 5 wickets. So it was a good score that Barbados put themselves in a really strong position, and I think even the most ardent of Red Force fans will be honest enough to say that this is an extremely difficult position. It would take, not a miracle, but it would take something a little bit special to get out of this one. And let's leave aside any possibilities that the vagaries of the weather will come in here and do something. Simply look at, the Red Force batting, and you begin to feel that this partnership, as it goes on, becomes ever more important. The more balls they take up, the more settled they look, the more you're going to hope that something will come of it. Now, De Silva is asking for some gloves or treatment.
It looks like he gave him 2 left-handed gloves.
Oh. Well, why did he take them then?
He didn't realize until it was time to put his on.
Well, yes, that's a good point, because they don't often put them on. Hetmeyer in particular has this almost fetish-like behaviour about gloves, and he's always fiddling with them and doing various things. Anyway, here's Greaves and running in. He bowls, and De Silva flashes at that one. Gets past the man at wide second slip. Let's call that third slip.
Yeah.
And it goes to the boundary. No real celebration there, because I think that was a slightly risky shot.
As you can see, slightly short his delivery. It was really a nutting shot there from De Silva, just trying to guide that one there, and knowing that the ball is keeping low and bouncing from that end. It was quite risky, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, the first time round, it looked a lot more risky. On the replay and slow motion, he actually looks as though he's working it there as well. But you don't want to be going that far outside the off stump and hanging your bat about. De Silva will tell you that he played it deliberately. It was a great shot, and it was a 4 as well. There's Greaves again. And again, outside the off stump, but this time easily handled by De Silva. And I think that one, we can almost go back and look at the first shot and say, I see what you're doing. You're comfortable, you're seeing it big, you're tucking it around, and you feel safe there. Okay, takes another run.
But the difference with this one comparing to the last one, this one was a bit closer to him, so he had a bit more control in terms of that. So seeing that he's someone that looks at his shots and thinks about it, and he would think about what he has done and why it's gone close to the batsman, and he's going to readjust.
Greaves coming around the wicket to the left hander, and he cuts hard at that one, and I don't think that he was worried about that. It was either going to go over the top of the man at cover or over the top of the man at slip. No problem with that one. Huge, thick uppercut, if you like. I'm not even going to say edge. He really did look to uppercut it, rather in a one-day type mode, and that 1 or 2 bounces and 4. The 100 is up. 105. Sorry, 100. 4-5. That's in the 41st over. Correa moves on to 23. De Silva is on 14. They trail by 61 now.
And partnership up to the 6 of 80 deliveries, and I think it's very important here for the Red Force team not to put themselves in a shell and just looking to play deliveries. If they be a bit more assertive and attacking to capitalize on these bad deliveries, the short balls is going to be much better. The runs are going to flow, and they're going to get somewhere in the game and get a momentum going forward in order to knock off this the runs that are lead by, which is 61 if
I made the mistake of talking about doubling the number of balls and doubling the score of the last partnership that was going on. I think I'm going to avoid that this time, because it seemed to bring about the fall of a wicket, and I wouldn't want to be accused by Red Force supporters of
putting the curse on the players.
What do they call it here? Blight or something, Good mode. Yeah, I think I'm going to be careful. Try and avoid that. Greaves now running in. Right arm around the wicket. That's a lovely looking shot. Beautiful cover drive. Classic. Past extra cover
Shot
for 4.
Horrid tee there by Yannick Correa. And you can tell he really loves it there.
Yeah, let's have a look at that front foot, which was missing from some of the other players. It's right there, isn't it? Look. Beautifully balanced as well. For me, that's what makes the shot. That balanced position.
Isn't it a joy to see a left-hander hit a cover drive?
Yes, I am unfortunately a right-hander. I've never been able to look that good, even when I know what's coming. Oh, I see, yeah. I got drawn into that. Yeah, I got mugged, if you like. Greaves again, running in now. And puts it there again. There's going to be a chase. It's not going to go to the boundary, but they're going to come back for a second.
Chase is on the chase. As you can see here, that's 3 boundaries of the Dover.
Right, at the end of that over, it's 106 for 5. Correa has moved on to 29. The silver is on 14. Vidya Rampal is going to come in and take you up to lunch.
Thank you very much, Rooksy. That seemed like almost like one of your innings. Short and sweet there. Sorry about that. I just had to say that. Sorry about that, Rooksy. He usually stays in for a lot longer when he's batting. Yeah, so...
I would hope so.
Yeah. 106 for 5 and a flurry of runs. There, Correa 29, De Silva 14. And between these two, 96 deliveries. They've now eaten into a significant portion. Now, the last wicket fell at 64, so the partnership already starting to climb here. Don't think Barbados will be entirely hugely alarmed by this, but they don't want it to go any further. 42 off 83. Oh, he's edged it, and he's taken it. Yes, well taken, beautifully taken there by Dorich, and De Silva goes. That is a wonderful catch. That was going to drop just in front of first slip, and what a take there by Shane Dowrich with the right hand.
And it's the same shot that he was playing at the other end that fell short of the wide third slip, and to his demise.
Oh, what a catch that was by Shane Dowrich. Excellent. And Jordan takes the wicket here. Take a look at that. He's very disappointed, but he did play away from his body and has paid the price here, Joshua De Silva. Imran Khan is going to come in next year to do battle for his team. Just 5 minutes away from lunch, so he'll be doubly disappointed, and the Trinidad and Tobago Red Force bench will be certainly feeling like doubled over in pain right now because of that dismissal of Joshua De Silva. And here's how it happened, and look at this catch from Dowrich. Now he knows it's not going to carry to the first slip, and here's what he does. See if the ball does anything special here. Yeah, it just moves away, but not the best of shots here by De Silva. And look at that, just in front of the first slip. Digs it out off the ground. That's an excellent catch there by Shane Dowrich. Took it very well, and look at the celebration after as he comes up with it. He knows that is a massive wicket for the Barbados Pride. He doesn't have his helmet on, but he doesn't care where the ball lands at the moment. There it is. That is a big wicket.
I think that the Barbados Pride would go into lunchtime and have a good lunch, seeing that the score is 106 for 6.
Well, they might have had a good lunch anyway, because they have been able to take 3 wickets in the morning. So we were talking about targets earlier, and that target of taking those 3 wickets has been accomplished. Of course, if they can prize out another one, that's even better. It's like gravy for them right now. So here's Imran Khan. A lot of experience, Imran Khan, and he was in a situation against Jamaica earlier this season where TNT were chasing a small total of 80 odd. He had to come in and drag them over the line. But I tell you what, he's going to have to drag them the equivalent from here to Bridgetown right now if he is going to get TNT to any way of any sort of safety. 55 is the target still to make Barbados bat again. Oh, what a delivery to start off here. Just going back to that delivery that got rid of De Silva. Yes, he wasn't supposed to play at that. Maybe a bit too wide outside the Austin, but there was some shape away from him.
Yeah, I'm seeing that Akeem Jordan changed, and now he was bowling with the wind. Yeah, with the wind now. Before he was bowling with the ball moving into Joshua De Silva from this end, and then he changed end, so the ball was eventually going to be moving around. I think that even though he was
guided away, that's going to be a chase on here for Mosley. Gets it a few meters in front of the boundary, as you can see. A couple of runs. Can is off the mark here on 2.
As you can tell, sometimes a boundary gives you a bit of energy and thinking that you can hit a ball that is not there. I mean, yes, you're being assertive, but knowing that you're very close to lunch, I think the shot wasn't really on. You could have left that ball and allowed the bowler to come closer to you, and then you would be able to control the game from there.
Sure, his batting coach will have a look at that and have a few words with him, especially how he's been dismissed in these in this particular game. Fuller delivery here from Jordan. Just to update you on the scores around before we go to lunch here. 173 Windward Islands bowled out in response to Leeward Islands 333. Well, the Leewards now 179 for 4. They lead by 339 runs. And they continue to bat on here. They might declare during the lunchtime. Who knows what's going to happen there. As Jordan gets ready to come through, the batsman just having a mid-pitch conference to discuss things.
Ooh, what
a little short. Can was having none of that. Just allow that to go through. Well, of course, at the Diego Martin Sporting Complex, Jamaica 393, Guyana 284 for 1. Tej Ryan Chandapal 127, Tevin Imlak 78.
As you can remember, the first innings, the skipper got out pulling a delivery, so you know they would have hoped he hooked at that one, having a deep backward square or a wideish fine leg, I would say.
Let's have one go this time. End of a successful over for Jordan. His figures now looking infinitely better. 1 for 17, 108 for 6. This should very well be the last over before lunch. We're just about 2 minutes outside of lunch, and what a morning Barbados have had. TNT have added 57 runs, and they have lost 3 wickets. Just like Trinidad and Tobago would have had their targets, at least to bat out the morning, not lose any further wickets, Barbados would have had theirs. If we can get 3 wickets before lunch, we can finish off the job after lunch. Well, they're halfway there.
What I'm quite surprised is that Miguel Cummins hasn't bowled coming down to the lunch period. I was wondering if anything had happened to him with that slide.
Yeah, I was wondering about that myself, yeah. Good point. Yeah, because he did have that slide, but he got up pretty quickly. Now, he doesn't look like the kind of player who is going to let that bother him too much. He looks like one of those really tough guys. And he is out on the field. Yeah, he's at fine leg. And in fact, he's practicing bowling some imaginary deliveries there. So he's letting the skipper know I should have been on. Off the edge again, straight to gully. Jordan's there in the gully, and he's proven to be quite a cricketer. Jordan had some runs, took some wickets, and looks very good in the field also.
Yes, and I think that as a cricketer now, you look to take at least the fielding box as a fast bowler, and once you do that, the runs will come eventually. You'll be happy as a unit if your bowlers can give you runs. But as you can see, he's in slip. I know one guy that as a fast bowler used to be in slip, Tony Gray.
He's trying to guide it down. Yeah, Tony Gray used a good pair of hands, Tony Gray, for TNT and the West Indies, but also Joel Garner was very good in the gully region. He was spectacular for a guy that big. One of the New Zealand fans here in the box has told us Tim Southey actually would, of course, field in the slips. Just reminding us. forget James Anderson also likes to be in the slips for England. Well, he's back in the business once again, missing the Caribbean tour. Not a bad idea.
No,
That wasn't a bad idea at all.
I think our batsmen they wouldn't have argued for that at all.
No, we would have supported that completely. Still, very good value for their 1-0 win over England in the Caribbean. I saw one of the editorials in England saying that it's perhaps some of the teams from England have come in with a false sense of superiority to the Caribbean. It's clipped away. That could go close to the boundary here. Big chase on, which he's not going to win. Sure, not even Obadeli Thompson himself in his prime could have caught up with that. That's gone for 4. Leg buys also. So we're just a couple of balls away from lunch here, and job almost done here for the Barbados Pride. Once with the silver there, you would have felt that TNT maybe had something of a chance to get closer to that 161 they trailed Barbados by in first innings. But the silver's setting himself up here. Karaya setting himself up here to bat through until lunch, and that is what he has accomplished here. As the umpires, well, yeah, the players are going to be coming off here. So that is the end of play before lunch here at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy in this so-called Clash of the Titans between TNT Red Force and Barbados Pride. But I'll tell you what, one of the Titans has grown a lot larger than the other at the moment, because they are very much in charge. TNT still trailed by 49. Just to run through what happened in the morning here, and Randy, you can chime in here. Let's see what's happened. TNT resuming at 51 for 3. And the wickets to fall this morning, well, it was first one to go was Jason Mohammed, bowled by Chase for 10. Simmons was then caught close in by Mosley off Chase for 31. And the last wicket to go, Joshua De Silva playing away from his body from Jordan. Dowridge took an exceptional catch. That was really good from the wicket-keeper. And TNT 112 for 6. 4 wickets to go for Barbados. TNT still have 49 runs to make them bat again. Advantage Barbados.
Definitely. Barbados would be adding a little bit of extra gravy on their food at lunchtime. They're going to be having a really comfortable lunch, I think, after this lunch break. I think they're going to come out and work really hard on. Hopefully that Karaya sticks around for the Red Force, and the captain, who has been proven he can bat because he has century as his level. Not in the first innings though, after a fall shot making. I hope that they can carry on and actually make a good score and carry the game into the 4th day.
Well, that will be all conjecture for the moment. We'll find out how it plays out after lunch. Join us in just about 35 minutes time as the Trinidad and Tobago Red Force come out at 112 for 6. They still need 49 runs to make Barbados bat again. Thanks so much for joining us for the morning. We'll be back in a little bit. back to the Brian Lara Cricket Academy. It is the post-lunch session in this West Indies Championship match. TNT Red Force versus Barbados Pride. TNT in all sorts of trouble, 1,000 different flavors of it right now. 112 for 6. They still trail Barbados by 49 runs. And in their second innings, Simmons is one of the men out today. Karaya on 29. Khan is there in 2. Video round full alongside Sheldon Rooks. Sheldon, big battle on this afternoon.
Indeed it is. I'm going to settle in for the first ball after lunch.
Pleasant looking on drive here as Jordan starts off his 8th over after lunch. And Jordan, 10th wicket for him just before the break. And that was the silver playing away from his body, caught by Dorridge. What a catch by Dorridge, first of all. But the silver would be very disappointed. For the second time, he's played a shot he shouldn't.
Yeah, and you saw that hit on the pads as he walked out.
Yeah, he was upset. He played a sweep shot in the first innings that he was not very happy with, and another shot. And what a fine catch by Dorridge that was. It wasn't going to carry the first slip, and little man just giving a timely reminder. And best of all, to his direct rival. What a really good catch that was.
Do you get a feeling of deja vu? Because we were here at exactly this point last week, Windward Islands and Jamaica, with Windward Islands trying to bat on as long as possible with 6 falling at lunch, well 3 falling in the night before, 3 falling before lunch. They were 6 down and then they were rolled over before tea. It just feels as though that's on the cards here.
Oh, that is a stupendous catch at gully. Wow, what a catch that was by Graves. Away to his left, and Imran Khan's gone for 2. And even Sheldon Rooks is enjoying that. That is a wonderful catch. Away to his left, playing away from his body, Imran Khan. He's gone for 2. That is 7 down. And immediately after lunch, TNT on the back foot once again.
Yeah, we're not in the prediction business. We're really in the business of describing what's happening and then working out what it is that the teams are most likely to want to happen. Well, what they would have wanted to happen, Barbados, is to take a wicket early after lunch, and there it is.
Yeah, what a catch that was. And Jordan has done the trick once again. He is getting some movement away from the right-handers from this side of the ground. That's bowling from the southern part of the ground, but still, before that, you really have to discuss the quality of the shot making from the last 2 batsmen, the 2 decisions that have been made here in terms of playing those shots. Credit to Jordan. He's put it in the right areas. He's played one that Khan has had to defend, and then a couple outside the off stump. And there it is. The cordon there has done their job. That's an exceptional catch again.
Yeah, shot selection really is what we are talking about, and not being drawn into playing at balls that you don't have to. I know that means that an attacking player like Imran Khan, we know he's an attacking player. He likes to feel bat on ball. I know that that's his way. But there's just a time when you have to look at the scoreboard, you look at this match situation, and then you have to make an adjustment to the way that you play. I don't think I've seen that this time round.
Pull that one away. There's a fielder out there. It's not going to carry to him. Hines off the mark, Terence Hines. That's just 1, so he's there. He got 25 in the first innings, then succumbed to a catch down to long on. He's going to play his shots also. He doesn't hold back.
Yeah, you've got a lower middle order who like to go for it. We've already lost one who they promoted to be the night watchman, but he's already taken out of the equation. He's going to come back to hurt them now.
Yeah, he would have been quite useful in a situation like this, where the ball is older, the pitch maybe a little bit slower, the bowler's more tired, he would have been much better proposition, of much better use as a resource here at this time rather than yesterday.
Yeah, they exposed him early and unfortunately he fell.
Try allowing that one to go through. 29 of 64 deliveries. He's, as he's done so many times, held up one end. But that is the end of a really good over from Jordan once again. A successful one for him. And he's had two wickets in his last 2 overs.
Yeah, slightly misdirected. It was going away from the batsman. Never really threatened him. Would needed to have started that on a different angle to really trouble Correa. Last of the recognised batsman, would you say? I mean, Hines, not wanting to say anything against him, but we're talking about facing some quality bowling here.
It is going to be Graves to continue from the northern end of the ground. He started his spell before lunch, so he's had a nice 40-minute rest. Possibly had some good food in there too. And there he is, ready to go from the northern end. Left that alone there, Terence Hines. Now, as we would have told you in the first innings, Terence Hines has a test first-class 100, excuse me. He's also had 2 first-class 50s and 1 earlier in the season. And he's on a high because he took his first 5-wicket haul earlier in this match when Barbados batted.
Right, so he's got some pedigree, and the mindset, hopefully, for him will be not to completely go in his shell, but try to make it as difficult as possible.
Much better from him, swinging away from him.
As I mentioned before, set your target area. Know that if it's outside of that and you don't have to play, then don't. You know, the scoreboard is the thing that really should be uppermost in your mind. You have to get into a position where you are at the crease for as long as possible, and you're going to have trouble if you are chasing wide deliveries or going at balls that you don't have to play at.
Definitely had to play at that one. Now, he is one of those players in this Trinidad and Tobago team, just like Keegan Simmons, possibly Salazano, and one of the others who may be a little bit dicey in terms of their place in this TNT team. He's coming in for this match, but is he going to stay in? Well, that 5-wicket haul, that improves his chances. A good innings here for him, a 50, maybe a bit more, could cement his place in the TNT team for that last game.
I'll come back to that at the end of the over, I think.
Hit that very well. Times the ball very well, and that one flying away. Good stop there at the mid-off position.
I was talking to a friend of mine about selection, how one goes about doing it, and then about, in particular, selecting all-rounders. And we came to the understanding that an all-rounder was someone who could only rightly be classed as an all-rounder if he was selected either as a batsman in his own right or a bowler in his own right.
Gone straight through him. That is a great wicket here for Graves, and Trinidad and Tobago falling away like 9 pins here in the early afternoon. That is 8 down, and after 2 moving away from him, this one came back in, and Terence Hines has found his stumps splattered behind him. Here's the delivery. Let's see if there's any movement inside. Yeah, little hint of movement. Inside edge onto the pad and onto the off stump. Big space between bat and pad, and Hines has gone for 1.
Yeah, so in the slow motion there, you saw clearly inside edge onto pad
and then onto the off stump. So an unfortunate dismissal for Hines. But Vidya was just talking about whether the 5 for would help if the selectors were going to keep him on for the next game. If he was picked primarily as a bowler, then he's done his job by taking 5. However, if he was picked as a batsman, well, then the 5 may not help him.
The uncertainty that led to that particular, that really uncertain prod forward was because of those 2 deliveries that left him. Now, just before that, Shane Dorridge had come down. He had a quick word with Graves,
you're right,
and then he ran back up. Now, perhaps that was part of the plan. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm just working on him. Just get a few away from him. Then I'm going to bowl one coming into him. Let's see how he handles that. So the batter, that space between the bat and pad, created by that uncertainty. Uthman Mohammed has come in and can bat well. Let's see how he adapts here as number 10. Overcomes to end. Another successful one. So we've had 3 wickets in the last 4 overs, stretching back to before lunch, 113 for 8.
I love the way the umpire just gives an indication to the bowler that he might want to look at where the front foot is landing. Like, it's all nice and gentle, and you really have to be watching that to see, because after that delivery he walks up to the spot and he just stands there, and the bowler knows what's going on, and as he walks back he's just looking at it, just brushes it with his foot a little bit and then walks back, and alright, the bowler stands and says, too close? He said, yeah, a little bit too close, just watch that.
He's a second generation umpire, so I'm sure he's picked up some tips from his dad, who is here in the stadium today. That, of course, the president of the Trinidad and Tobago Cricket Board, Mr. Azim Bassarat, who would have served as an umpire for many years after his cricketing career was over. So, Syed Bassarat at the non-strikers end, well, at square leg at the moment, 113 for 8. Karai is just fighting a losing battle, isn't he? 29 of 67. He's been the only bright spot in this Trinidad and Tobago innings outside of that 31 from Keegan Simmons.
Yeah, I'd be interested to look at the number of balls that the batsmen have taken. Have a quick look and see whether they equate to any kind of partnership. I think there was one with De Silva, wasn't there? They ate up some of the overs.
Well, in this innings he got 39 deliveries. He batted 39 deliveries in the second innings. In the first innings, 83. Just about 130 or so deliveries in the entire match.
You cause problems when you take up about 400.
A top edge over the head of the keeper, and well, that's going to run over the ropes here in front of us, just behind the side screen. So just helped it on its way. Uthman Mohammed is not going to die wondering here. He's gone for that one early. Maybe a glove onto that, perhaps off the handle of the bat.
Was it an innings and 14 runs that Windward Islands went down to Jamaica last week? An innings and 14?
Innings and 14, that's right.
47, 45 they trail by here. Trinidad and Tobago. What's the betting that they do better than Windward Islands and make Barbados bat again?
I think the odds on that would be pretty long at the moment.
A few people shaking their heads.
With 10 and Shannon Gabriel still to come. Well, Mohammed, he went for a duck in the first innings, bowled by Warrican. And Barbados have come in here with this Swiss Army knife attack. They have used Cummings, Jordan, Simmons, Graves, Warwicken, and Chase in this innings. They haven't used Reefer at all. Reefer's a fine bowler. He hasn't been used at all. Maybe he's carrying an injury. Maybe they just have enough to deal with TNT with the bowlers used.
No, I think you are absolutely right. A bowler of that kind of quality, they would have had a run out 4, 5, 6 overs.
Oh, that's well taken by Durrett, just out of your picture. Diving stop with the left hand this time. That'll bring the end to the over. 118 for 8. He's given a few reminders here. What a great gloveman he is. The catch he took to dismiss De Silva was with his right hand. That take was with his left hand. So it's not one of those keepers who will try to dive to your left side and still take it with the right hand. He can catch with both. Very much a right-handed keeper. Took that very well. 118 for 8. Karaya 30. Mohammed on 4. And it will be Karaya who will face up here. You look down the list of partnerships throughout the season. I've been examining the stats here. I've been torturing the data, and it has confessed some things to me. TNT just 2 century partnerships, and the least of all of the teams. I think the only team that has had just one is the Windward Islands. So there's a correlation there.
Yes, that puts things into perspective, and in a way, it's a slightly higher inflated position in the table then when you look at where Trinidad and Tobago are in relation to the Windward Islands. Windward Islands having had 1 partnership, you say, of 100?
Yes, that's right.
And Trinidad and Tobago only 2. So everyone else is ahead. And on the back of these 2 performances, the loss last week and presumably what we're looking at here, another one coming up.
Great delivery again by Graves, shaping away from the batsman. Just reminding Karaya that I've got your number. Let's see, it's Karaya. Just this is how he shapes up. Starts outside the off stump. This is very much his method. Slight trigger movement coming across. Yeah, feeling for it outside the off stump, not far away. An ooh goes up from the lips of Sheldon Rooks, just beside me.
That was close.
Wide outside the off stump and gets pretty much a free run here. I'll bring Uthman Mohammed back on. Every now and again they put that one just a little bit wide to see if there'll be a nibble. Certainly Karaya more than nibbled at that. He's on to 31. Well, that would expose Mohammed now here. There's no indication that Karaya is trying to farm the strike at all here.
Yeah, there's a safety with that ball, because if it is cut, you've got a man in the deep. So there's only one. So the risk is all with the batsman.
He's going for the pull shot. Maybe not quite as short as you would normally see a pull shot played, but got the run anyway.
And again, there's a man out in the deep. He runs in to pick that up from the deep backward square boundary, and they come through for 1. All of these, although they take runs off the amount that Red Force trail by, are really academic. It just feels like a matter of time, doesn't it?
TNT Red Force would have started earlier today at 51 for 3. And among the wickets they lost yesterday, Darren Bravo, Jeremy Solozano, and Brian Charles, as we mentioned. Yeah, looking to drive that one through the cover region, going into that mid-wicket area. So just 1 for Karaya. They would certainly not mind this. They want to get at Mohammed also. See if they can prize him out, because, well, Shannon Gabriel's going to come in next, and we know that, well, Shannon's batting is not the most attractive part of his game.
Yeah, I would like to find a way to begin to bowl more at Mohammed. I haven't really seen specific changes in the field to make that happen.
Well, that was not far away either. That one shaping away from the batsman. Gray's wondering why he doesn't have a third wicket here. 2 for 22. He's bowled well. 121 for 8 at the end of the over.
Yeah, he's offered that up, hasn't he? He said, here you go. Here's something that you like to drive at. Go ahead. and he did.
Yeah, he did try, but didn't get close to that one. Take nothing away from how Barbados have performed here. Just the last 2 wickets alone, you look at how they've fallen. Joshua De Silva edging one, great catch by Shane Dowrish. That would have not carried. That's an it flew at him really fast. He had to make that decision in a split second, picked it off the turf, and then the catch by Graves in the gully to dismiss Imran Khan. Another exceptional catch. That also was flying. So, I mean, you see players take catches like these. The hours of practice that goes into taking those, to preparing yourself to take those type of catches. The motivation to stay focused on the field. Excellent performance here by the Pride.
Looks as though, well, he's really at 4th slip, isn't he? There's a gap.
Pleasant on-drive, but straight at the fielder. That had gone past him was 4 for sure. And we know how these cricket balls love to find those spaces. Warwican at 2nd slip. And first slip, we have Carter, an ever-present figure there.
And as is quite often the case, the 2nd slip is just that bit further up.
Yeah. One swung after it left the batsman. Yeah, just to narrow the angle a little bit. That's why the 2nd slip is a little bit up. So it might look like there's a massive gap, but we're looking at the perspective from where the batsman is, may not be that large after all.
Real pressure here. 121 for 8, and Red Force are in danger of not even making their first innings score.
Pulled that away. There's a fielder out there. And it is the man running across, Mosley. Well, he's gotten a few blows to the body throughout this game. I'm sure he must be very happy to be as far away from the batsman as possible.
Yeah, out of the direct firing line for a while. He's been in short.
A lot of advice being shouted by the spectators around us. A few spectators here to watch the contest. One or two of those spectators have been very vocal. Sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's bitter, sometimes it's unrepeatable. Appealing for a catch at the wicket here. Umpire Ramdani is not interested. It touched the thigh pad perhaps as it went through. Forwardman Mohammed, 3 slips and a gully in place. And as they get ready for it, this is what happened the ball before. It was close to the pad, so it could have just flicked the pad on its way through. Well, tried to pull the bat away. Yeah, that's the delivery that's been giving all the problems here for the TNT batsman outside the off stump. And he didn't need to play. Almost played it on. 122 for 8 at the end of the over.
We banned warming up with a football at our club. And I think if I was coaching a team, I would ban that particular leave. I just can't see the need for it. If you're going to leave well alone. Get the bat completely out of the way. This kind of half leave and I don't know. Do you do that? Do you, when you leave alone? Yeah, I thought not. Yeah. Just get out of the way. We have seen people making contact, haven't we, as they try to leave alone. Nice looking solid defensive shot, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's been solidly behind a lot of these. Hasn't given up too many in the way of chances here. Yannick Correa, 33 of 77 deliveries. Uthman Mohammed is going to give a chance here because Uthman Mohammed has been, he's tried a few expansive shots here.
Right, if it is that Mohammed is the man that you want to bowl at, you've got 8 down, there's still runs on the board, 39 to play with. My feeling is that you should really try to get in his face and make him think, well, hang on a minute, I can bat a bit here. Why are all these fielders around? You've got one who's come in there short now. I would have one at short leg as well, under the helmet. Just make him feel uncomfortable.
Got a leg glance on that, and that's run away for 4. Similar to the way he got out in the first innings. That one definitely hit the bat and went away for 4. Dorridge put in the big dive and couldn't get to it.
Randy was talking about the large amount of swing here. Look at just how much this one goes.
Yeah, that one really moved a long way.
He's got the angle as well, right arm around, that's pushing it down there. Maybe that accentuated it a bit, but there was movement there. Yeah, and you wouldn't expect that. That's a hard thing to be able to do. Got to be the angle then.
Two balls to go. As umpire Bassara, that's another one of his idiosyncrasies.
I'm not falling for it. No, I wait now to see if he turns around, and then if he turns around and he sticks his arm out again, then okay. But this one I'm not going now. I've called no ball so many times when really he's just asking the square leg umpire. Yeah, 2 for you. Yeah, 2 for me.
I think with the no balls, he calls them with his right hand, but he inquires with his left.
Okay. I hadn't noticed that.
Yeah, there was that offending left hand asking again.
My powers of observation are quite clearly not as great as yours.
It's much to learn, Watson.
Yes, indeed, Holmes. It's like the end of term here, isn't it? You know, and we don't mean to be disparaging to the Red Force team or anyone that supports Red Force, but it's beginning to look as though Barbados are going to take this fairly easily.
Yeah. Not the shot that you would have been hoping to see here if you're expecting TNT to survive the afternoon, but it was coming back in at him. Maybe he didn't expect it to come in. Yeah, there it is. Maybe he didn't come in that much. Also too full for the cut shot.
Yeah, we're going to do our best to remain completely professional about this. And if we do have a laugh or a giggle or something, I can assure you it's not at the Trinidad and Tobago Red Force, for whom we feel, because nobody wants to get rolled over in 3 days, and we certainly didn't want to have another 3-day game here. It's just worked out that way, and it became very, very difficult when on day 1 they were only able to post a low score.
Mohammed was interested in the single, and I think that's what Reefer's telling. He's telling the non-striker that we want you to get down there. We can get you out.
Yeah, that's it. You know, you've got a man there. Well, He's not quite a short leg, is he? But he's close enough. He's making a bit of noise.
Oh, what a great delivery that was.
That was too good.
Oh, that was Jordan pitching that one outside the ostum and just cutting it away from the bat of Muhammad.
Turned him around completely. Look at the back leg. Look what happens here. That normally happens when you don't get into line. You get into line and then you can play that, the defensive push. But when your leg just stays there, it comes round late and squares you up.
Another edge. This time it's not going to carry.
And it's not going to go to the boundary either.
Yeah, it's going to be picked up here by Reefer.
And
two more to Muhammad.
You're not going to expect a tail ender to have the greatest footwork, especially when he's facing someone who's sharp at the other end. You know, they want to see where that ball is going, and they're just going to be a little bit slower than a top order batsman. You put Muhammad against a club bowler and maybe he looks like a top order batsman because he moves his feet better, but against this quality of pace.
Another edge. It's time. It's carried to third slip, and it's snapped up here by Chase. Barbados Pride just 1 wicket away from victory here. That is the end of Muhammad, caught by Chase for 7, and that is the third catch for Jordan. Here's how it happened outside the off stump. Similar line to the deliveries that have caused TNT batsmen so many problems, and it was just like catching practice there for Chase, who took it very well low down in front of his left foot. That is 9 wickets down. Barbados on the verge of victory here.
Everyone has a role to play in the team. Your top order batsmen are supposed to be able to score runs. Your middle order batsmen are supposed to supplement that by putting up good scores, and hopefully your tail enders will also come in and be able to put some things together. But in the scheme of things, you cannot expect your lower order batsmen, your tail enders, to come and save the day for you when they're facing quality bowlers. And remember, Chase is probably the one with the most experience out there, and he's not even on. He's in there, picking them up at slip. It's a difficult situation for someone like Muhammad, and you can't chastise him if he pushes at something that even the top order batsmen have got out to. This has not been the best batting performance for Red Force, and it comes on the back of a first innings that was pretty poor, and then if we go back a week earlier, it's come on a bad match. So you're beginning now to look at a team that have got some serious problems to deal with. It's not just the odd problem here or there and 1 or 2 people in the team. It's almost as though there's some kind of virus going around and everybody's got it. The team now has got some serious looking at to do.
Shannon Gabriel in, and Shannon Gabriel hitting a boundary. What's the problem about the batting you were talking about? What were you on about the batting? There's no problem here. Shannon Gabriel, 1 ball, 4 runs.
Well, I'll take that. Okay.
Take that on the chin.
I'll take that on the chin. Yeah.
Yeah, Shannon Gabriel lofting that drive through the extra cover region for 4. Well, he really seems to be the most popular man on the field. As soon as he's in, everybody wants to talk to him. Everybody wants to say something to him. And you can see there that he's just having a conversation with one of the Barbados players. He gives as good as he gets, Shannon Gabriel.
I would be so noisy at the moment if I was in the middle.
Nice looking shot again. Trying to tempt him to go for the single, but he declines. That's the end of the over. Karaya on 33. Barbados Pride on the edge of victory here. TNT 132 for 9, at the end of the over.
But you know what the situation of the game is. You can really afford to say what you like. You're not going to get overhauled, and even if you do, by how many, your batsmen are going to come in and knock off whatever it is. So you can be out there and really begin to rub it in. The only problem is at some stage in the future, you will have to face them again, and the situation may be different, and they won't forget. You're never going to forget when you've been sledged and had it rubbed in. But right now, that's a distant proposition. Right now, Barbados are probably enjoying themselves out there.
Ryan's not going to play at that. Well, so going back in terms of the record between the two teams, last 5 games, TNT won the last one here by 147 runs in March 2020. But before that, 4 straight victories for Barbados. 299 runs, 4 wickets, 7 wickets, and 207 runs. So it's pretty clear that victory the last time was against the run of play.
I've got some very bad news for some friends of mine who are driving from St. Augustine, who said, we'll come down and watch the afternoon's play. I've just had to message them and say, there's 1 wicket left. They're motoring down the Uriah Butler Highway as we speak.
Well, I hope they're close.
Not close enough.
Except 1. So 3 deliveries for Shannon Gabriel to face here. So the points table, just to remind you, the points table, Barbados just about 6 points ahead of fourth placed Guyana. TNT will stay. Will add a couple of points here in this defeat. That is for batting points. Well, not batting points. They haven't achieved any, but some bowling points they did managed to get some of those. Maybe just 1 point at least achieved by Terence Hines for that 5-wicket haul, but not a lot going to be added here for TNT. Leeward Islands looking like they want to wrap up victory against the Windward Islands. Barbados also will move up further up ahead. And Shannon Gabriel has hit this one high over extra cover. That's going to bounce away towards the boundary. It's slowing up.
It's not going to go.
It's not going to get there. So he will stay for 2. Big man Shannon has picked up 2 here. So he's up to 6 now. Well, he's beaten the scores of at least 3 other batsmen.
I'm going to be really greedy here and try to get in a couple of things before, because it looks as though we're going to wrap things up. So let me say first of all to everyone who has joined the stream looking on from Barbados, I'm sure that you've enjoyed it. I hope we've been impartial. I hope we've come across as impartial. I would have liked to have seen Red Force take us into a 4th day.
Oh, that is a lovely shot square of the wicket here by Shannon Gabriel, and he will come back for 2. That's not going to get to the boundary. They're going back for 3 runs. No, they decide against it. So Gabriel now up to 8 here.
And the reason that I would have liked to have seen a 4th day is because that would have been a competitive match. I think nobody can say that this has been a hugely competitive outing, and that's not putting down Red Force too much. It's just the way things have gone. But I hope that we have come across as impartial and just looking at the action and describing it for you. Video.
Well, define optimism. Someone in the crowd is saying, bat whole day, Shannon. Struck him on the pad here. That's going down the leg side. Yeah, it was coming in at him. The kind of delivery that got rid of Terence Hines. So Gabriel survives here. Oh, he's so big, Gabriel. The bat looks like a twig in his hand. This one's just coming in towards him. Yeah, it's very high. He was off the ground, Gabriel. Look at that. We even got the bird going across just in front of it. Thigh pad. So that's going down the leg side. Not much of an appeal. 137 for 9. heard the umpire make the call, so that's one. Or somebody make a call of no ball. Let's see if the umpire will signal.
No, it doesn't
I
look
think
like
it was
it.
one of the fielders may have just definitely heard a call for no ball. But it's not. It's pulled away for one. So
Nice.
I'll bring Shannon Gabriel back on.
Sorry, nice thing that I just saw their first slip with the ball, polishing away and looking at it and polishing again. Fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, just to keep that up, that's real discipline. Don't need you. You
It
just
is.
toss it back to him. No, when you get into good habits, take care of that ball as much as possible. And I did get to go down and have a look at the box of balls that the umpires had. Some of those for if, you know, they happened to lose one. And they were all well looked after. This is a good track and a good outfield.
Gabriel just hanging his bat outside the off stump. That's exactly the line that Jordan wants to create here. Hopefully to get an edge to the keeper onto one of those slips, 3 slips and the gully waiting. Can't remember any catch going down for Barbados in this match. I can't seem to remember any.
No,
So
no.
good has been the fielding performance here. Well, that's a rather big hoik there by Shannon Gabriel. All of the shots he's hit so far were well played. This one less so. That when he really tried to manufacture something that wasn't there. You can tell that somebody in the slip region is having a word with him about his shot making. He's just glaring back and he's answering in kind here.
Yeah, he gave out some chat himself
So they did.
when he was out there.
We'll call that a non-drive, which has gone for 1. Yeah, actually, when Graves was injured while batting, he came on Graves, and after 4 deliveries, he went down injured. Shannon Gabriel was calling for the stretcher bearer to cart him off the field. So Graves was having a dig at him after that when he came on to bowl. So TNT Red Force 139 for 9, so they have gone past their first inning score of 133. However, still trailing Barbados, their first innings of 294, still trailing by 22 runs here. Pride closing in on what they hope will be an innings victory, and that will be their first innings victory in the last 5 games. But when you have victories like 299 and 207, that's just as bad.
Yeah, so I've spoken to those people watching from Barbados after this ball. I'll have a message for those watching from Trinidad.
Good delivery.
Yeah, and for the Trinidad and Tobago Red Force fans, I hope we haven't had too much of a dig at the team, but if you follow your team, you'll be honest with yourself and say this hasn't been the best performance. It's been a disappointing performance. There's a lot to look at. You've got another round, haven't you, coming up, or another match in this round next week, and you've only got a short amount of time to prepare for it, so good luck with that one.
This game, you would expect this game will end today, so there'll be Saturday, Sunday, Monday and Tuesday, 4 days before the next game starts, which is on the 1st of June, June 1st to 4th. Final round, Trinidad and Tobago against Guyana. It doesn't get any easier. Former champions Guyana, they'll play at the Queen's Park Oval. Barbados will go on to face the Windward Islands in Diego Martin. Gabriel rehearsing a vicious square cut there after that one went through.
Yeah, there was no chance of him getting anywhere near that because it was so wide. Short, wide. Would like to have that one back. Let's see if he can get his radar right.
Well, Gabriel has gone for the big drive here. He could be caught. This could be it. It is. It is caught at that mid-off position by Reefer, and that is victory for the Barbados Pride. They've defeated Trinidad and Tobago by an innings and 22 runs. The players shake hands here. It's all come to an end. Shannon Gabriel is the last man to go, caught for 9, and that was easily taken there by Reefer.
Yeah, that really just compounds the disappointment. We knew it was coming. And an unfortunate end to a really difficult 2.5 into the third day. Yeah, 2.5 full days for Trinidad and Tobago Red Force, but real celebrations for Barbados. They must have thought actually last night that they were well into the driving seat, and then by the time that lunch came around, it was a matter of time before they were able to really wrap things up. And it didn't take that long after lunch. We didn't even make the tea interval. About an hour or so into it, and things were done and dusted. Vidya Rampal is going to wrap things up. It's been a pleasure sitting with you, and I would have liked to have stayed longer and had an afternoon and a fourth day. It wasn't to be.
And I didn't even walk with my clothes for the knock later on. But here we go. Trinidad and Tobago bowled out in the second innings for 139 after 133 in the first innings. Barbados Pride 294, and victory for them here by an innings over TNT. So avenging that loss against Trinidad and Tobago in March 2020, when they lost here by 147 runs at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy. So the teams just meeting just off the field there, and it's a big disappointment for the Trinidad and Tobago Red Force. They'll have to go back to the drawing board and do some more work here. Barbados Pride winning. Now, they came into this match with 42.2 points. They will get, of course, full points for the win. They'll also get some batting points for getting to 294, plus they will pick up bowling points for the wickets falling to the seamers here today. So that is victory for them. Here's what's happening around the region. Let's give you a quick update before we depart. Trinidad and Tobago losing this match by an innings here. Now, in that Windward Islands, Leeward Islands game, here's what's going on. The Windward Islands bowled out for 173 and replied to the Leewards 333. The Leewards are 236 for 7. They lead by 396. So that match is heading perhaps just one way there. And finally, in Guyana against Jamaica at the Diego Martin Sporting Complex. Well, Guyana 292 for 2. They have lost Tevin Imlak. He's gone for 79. But Tejarain Chandapol is still grinding on. 134 of 34 deliveries. Guyana trail by 101 runs there.
I haven't quite gone yet. For those of you at home that were happy to hear the back of me, I haven't quite left yet. Have we got the final scorecard for that? Have we got access to it here?
Trinidad and Tobago. So Trinidad and Tobago trailing Barbados by 22 runs when the final wicket went. TNT resuming at 51 for 3 earlier today and rolled over for 139 here. Karaya ending not out on 35. Shannon Gabriel, the last man to go, caught by Reefer of Graves for 9. So coming up next week, of course, TNT will take on Guyana. It's not any easier, and Barbados will play on Windwards. Definitely Barbados will have the advantage heading into that final round and perhaps wrapping up title number 24.
Yeah, it's beginning to look like that, isn't it? With the greatest of respect to the Windward Islands, they're unlikely to be able to battle the powerhouse that Barbados is at the moment, so that will be a tough one. Did we just have a look at the bowling figures for Barbados in that last innings?
Well, Barbados' bowling figures, just to give you that. 3 wickets for Hakeem Jordan. He took 3 for 32. 3 wickets also for Roston Chase, 3 for 26. Justin Graves, 2 for 27. And 1 wicket for Ramon Simmons, 1 for 10 in his 9 overs. Very economical for him. Victory here for the Barbados Pride, and they will stay on top of the table pending something dramatic happening in that Leeward Islands match. So that's where we leave you here on a fine sunny afternoon here at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy. Thank you so much for joining us here for this game. We hope that you'll join us next week right here at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy. Leeward Islands will take on Jamaica at this venue. On behalf of Sheldon Rooks and the rest of our crew here at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy, it's goodbye for now.